Hello and welcome to what will be an exceedingly positive video today. I am so pleased to be able to announce that I have some really very good news indeed concerning my insurance. Let me explain with a little catch up. A few weeks back, my insurance renewal popped into my email and I thought, what? You want how much? No, there's no way I can afford it. I needed a solution. And the solution at the time seemed to be to take out just a private policy and then a number of classic policies for the cars you see behind me. Oh, and this one as well. And it seemed to be like a good idea because these cars, well, what, £100 each to insure for the year on a classic. The Volvo, not as cheap as I would like, but 700 and odd pound. I could live with that, paying £55 a month rather than £250 a month. So there we go, plan set, but it went wrong. Whereas TradeX didn't give a hoot about what this car looks like, it seems that other insurance companies do, and I was struggling. I just could not get anyone to insure this car without paying a stupid amount. I consider over £1,000 to insure this with the promise that I'll only do 2,000 miles a year a bit excessive, and I couldn't seem to get a way around it. I tried all sorts of different classic companies and other solutions and just didn't really get one. It's been weird. I've had this strange impending feeling of doom all the time, like something terrible has happened, like I should be really guilty about something. The problem wasn't going away. That feeling wasn't going away. And then, having failed to acquire my proof of no claims from my previous insurance company, I phoned them up. I'm going to have to give them a push here, otherwise I'm going to land myself in even further trouble. But whilst on the phone, whilst on hold, the first time ever being on hold and listening to some generic music for 30 minutes, I had an epiphany. And that was the realization that actually it wasn't too late. It wasn't too late to make a change. And things were just about in my grasp to make that change now. Because it's simply not good enough. Having that Volvo with no DOV, not being able to insure this, not being able to insure anything else. I am used to having the freedom of being able to drive other cars, or being able to just put a car on my insurance. So whilst on hold, I really got thinking, perhaps there is a way I can afford this. Perhaps with the right amount of determination, I can make it work. So right at the very last moment, I asked a simple question, which was, is it too late? Is it too late for me to accept the offer? And they said, surprisingly enough, because they already knew that I didn't accept it because of the cost, let's see if we can get the price reduced a little bit for you. And bless the lady on the phone, it seemed that they really could do something about it. Not a lot, but a bit. From £245 a month to £219. So it's still a lot, but it's a bit less, and I'm back. No need to give up on me after all. Not only that, I have drive other vehicles, but unique to TradeX. Not only have I got DOV, but I'm covered with comprehensive insurance as well. From the shackles of the one car policy without DOV, arms and legs tied and left in a bin liner to really get pissed off, back to freedom. Back to where I was before. And it's weird, it's really rather weird, but it's almost like I hadn't appreciated just how lucky I was. That's a typical human response, isn't it? The sense of relief is just astonishing, it really is. I don't know where to start. I'm going to trade some cars and I'm going to get better at it. That is my positive thought. And there's one thing I can do to assist myself in this particular thing. And I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet because it's a secret. But it really will help. Let me just say this though, having just one car gone out of the yard today. There was one a couple of weeks ago as well, of course, which I haven't even told you about. Means I can get back to, means I have the space freed up to get back on track with quite a few things. I've just taken both the cars out of this lockup. One's going to go back in, which is the MGF, just for the meantime. Next big job will be on this Voivod. I'm going to do the head gasket on this car probably next week. This lockup is going to remain empty and is subject to another great big tidy up session. I actually can't wait. But the really good news is that I can now tax Nigel and drive it again. After all the time without it, after all the annoyance of things not really feeling quite right, I've fixed it all, and now I can go and drive it and enjoy it on the roads. I'm chuffed. It wasn't until I cancelled my insurance that I found out that it was with Aviva. They never told me. Just going through a comparison site where they take care of everything, they do all the liaising with you and stuff, and it's just, you just feel like even more kicked in the balls by your insurance company when they don't even contact you at all. So that's gone. And I did it right on the 11th hour because the 14-day cancellation period, the cooling off period, was today, which means they cannot kick me in the balls any further. Dirty screen. Oh yes! Never have you seen a man so excited to drive a crappy little Rover as this, eh? It feels so unbelievably weird. Actually, too weird, come to think of it. I've got a feeling something's not quite right there. Could just be that well, I'm used to driving a Volvo and that feels entirely different to what this does. But it feels a bit like something else. I don't want to risk the wheels falling off. My, it's congested down here. Well, I've jacked it up, checked the wheels for any loose things. There isn't anything loose, there isn't anything coming undone. So it's probably just the tracking that really does need sorting out. And more importantly than that, I have actually washed it. Even in the relative overcast, this car gleams. Yeah, come on, let's take it out, come on. I'm just going to have to get used to it feeling a bit strange until I get used to it feeling a bit strange. And then hopefully tracking and new tyres on the front will sort that out. Hopefully. I've long suspected that the tracking may be just a bit out on this car, but it kind of feels worse than ever. So it's definitely that. In fact, it feels, it's like I'm fighting the steering a little bit, but at least I know it's all actually attached. So when I did that track rod end on it, it has now taken away the clonk, but it's given me just a little bit more waywardness. It does drive like a car that's gone wrong, actually, like really wrong. There was a time when this car drove absolutely wonderfully. That was quite a while back though. And then just with the course of time, I must admit, I have never myself done anything to damage the suspension on this car, but I did sell it twice and it was driven by younger people. And younger people often, they get being confident mixed up with knowing what they're doing. I've been advised, get the tyres first before the tracking, because if they do the tracking with the old tyres on, when you put the new tyres on, it won't be quite right. I suppose that would explain why this car has behaved itself better on different wheels sometimes. Oh yeah, and they haven't got any of the right size there. The sound of squelchy new rubber? Or something worse. Now if only I could get going at some sort of decent speed, I'll be able to tell you and find out for myself whether the new tyres has made much of a difference before the tracking's even done. And I suspect it would do, and it does feel like it has done, because having the tyres worn so badly on the inside then will affect an awful lot of stuff. Having said that, on Billy the Rover, discovered the tyres were worn on the inside with that, and you couldn't tell by driving it. Well, I can safely say that the new tyres have stopped it from wandering around everywhere, but it's still pulling to one side ever so slightly. When I say ever so slightly, it's if I let go of the wheel, yeah, it's taking me to the curb a bit. So, and that's, you know, obviously the tyre is going to be inflated correctly, as they should be. So that hopefully will just be the tracking that now needs actually sorting out. I do have the feeling that the near side shock absorber is a bit worn out now as well. It was the offside worn out, and now there's something still not. Do you know what? This car's never been the same. It used to be fantastic, and now it still feels just a bit loose and wayward. Obviously not as bad as it was half an hour ago. More like an hour actually. It took ages in that tyre place. And it's only just occurred to me that this car may be, although it's not really an embarrassment for me any longer, but it might be for other people, because they can't not spot it, and people have opinions and they have thoughts, and generally we all like to remain just a bit neutral. So seeing this, you know, as cars coming the other way, fair enough, but when you're stopped in traffic and they're sat there and they're trying not to look, it's probably a bit like when you see someone, nothing against them, who's got a face full of tattoos. It's very difficult to look at someone with a face full of tattoos and think that that's perfectly ordinary, because it isn't. It's rather different. Or someone who's incredibly and obviously camp, nothing against them either, but it gets your attention a bit. The fun I was expecting this video to be back in Nigel hasn't really been there because of too much concern about why it's wobbling around everywhere. Maybe when the tracking's done on Monday, maybe I'll do it on Monday morning, maybe then suddenly it'll drive like the car it used to do, except with a wonky shock absorber, which it also didn't have up until recently. The thing's fallen apart, and so I finish off this video back in my trusty old Volvo. And I say trusty because my anticipation of this car is that it's trusty, because so far that's exactly all it's been and all you would expect a V70 D5 to be. I feel so much less stressed than what I have been doing over the past couple of weeks. I've got my arms back and my feet have been untied. However, there is one other small issue to contend with, and that also involves driving, speeding, endorsements. What will happen? Watch the next video to find out. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching this, and thank you very much for liking, and thank you for being a subscriber, and thank you for being a channel member especially. especially. And thank you for hovering over the dislike button and then changing your mind and pressing the like instead. I like that. Thank you for leaving a comment. Thank you for leaving more than one comment. Thank you for replying to a comment. Bye bye. See you next time.